Shockwaves are rippling across the Middle East tonight after reports emerged that Iran has launched a sudden strike against a major United States military installation in Jordan. According to early statements circulating through regional media channels, a barrage of missiles and long-range drones was directed toward Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase, one of the most strategically important American operating locations in the region. Sirens reportedly echoed across the desert as air defense systems scrambled to respond. Bright flashes were seen in the sky as interceptors raced upward, attempting to stop incoming projectiles before they reached the base. But what happened next quickly caught the attention of military analysts around the world. Initial reports claim that several projectiles managed to penetrate defensive layers surrounding the installation. Explosions were reported near aircraft maintenance areas and logistical facilities used by U.S. and allied forces operating in Jordan. While the full extent of the damage is still unclear, the mere fact that the base was targeted marks a dramatic escalation in an already tense regional standoff. And that is where the situation becomes far more dangerous. Because Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase is not just another military outpost, located in northern Jordan near the Syrian border. The installation plays a central role in American air operations across the Levant. Fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, and intelligence platforms routinely operate from this base to monitor developments in Syria, Iraq, and beyond. Any disruption to activity there could potentially affect military planning across multiple theaters at once. What this means for regional stability and even global security is now being closely examined. Before we dive deeper into how this attack reportedly unfolded, why this particular base may have been chosen, and what it could signal for the next phase of the confrontation in the Middle East. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest updates as this story continues to develop. According to early claims attributed to Iranian-linked sources, the strike was carried out using a coordinated combination of ballistic missiles and armed drones. Military planners often design such operations to overwhelm defensive systems by forcing them to track and intercept multiple incoming threats at the same time. And that is exactly what appears to have happened. Witness accounts from nearby areas described multiple objects streaking across the night sky within seconds of each other. Some were reportedly intercepted, but others appeared to continue toward the base perimeter. Moments later, flashes and shockwaves were seen rising from the direction of the airfield. But the choice of target may reveal an even deeper strategic message. Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase has quietly grown into one of the most important American air hubs in the eastern Middle East. Over the past several years, the United States invested hundreds of millions of dollars expanding its infrastructure there. New runways, hardened aircraft shelters, fuel storage facilities, and advanced command centers were built to support a sustained military presence. These upgrades transformed the base into a launch point for reconnaissance flights, counterterrorism missions. And that is precisely why analysts believe it may have been selected. By striking a base used for intelligence gathering and aerial operations, the attacking side could be attempting to send a message about its ability to disrupt the surveillance network that monitors activity across the region. But what this means for global markets could be even more serious. Any escalation involving U.S. military bases in the Middle East immediately raises concerns about energy supply routes and regional stability. Jordan itself may not be a major oil producer, but the broader region surrounding it sits near some of the world's most critical energy corridors. When military tensions spike in this part of the world, energy traders and shipping companies begin paying very close attention. And early signs suggest that reaction may already be underway. Security analysts say heightened alerts are now being issued across multiple American installations in the region. Bases in Iraq, Syria, and the Gulf have reportedly increased defensive readiness, while air patrols and surveillance flights are being expanded to monitor potential follow-up activity. But the deeper strategic question remains unanswered. Was this a limited strike meant to send a warning, or the opening move in a much larger escalation? Because when missiles begin targeting major U.S. military installations, the response calculations inside defense headquarters can change very quickly. And as military planners, governments, and analysts race to understand what exactly happened at Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase tonight, one question is beginning to dominate the conversation. Could this attack trigger the next major escalation in the Middle East conflict? Satellite monitoring networks and regional radar systems are now being carefully analyzed as more information begins to emerge about the strike. Defense analysts say the pattern of the attack suggests a carefully coordinated operation designed to test the defensive capabilities surrounding the base. According to early assessments circulating among security experts, several projectiles approached the area from multiple directions. This tactic is often used to divide the attention of air defense systems, forcing them to track numerous threats at once. But what happened in the minutes after the explosions may reveal even more about the strategic intention behind the strike. Emergency response vehicles were reportedly seen rushing across the airfield as crews worked to secure critical infrastructure. Aircraft stationed at the base were quickly moved or protected while personnel moved into hardened shelters, designed for exactly this kind of scenario. Yet the question many analysts are now asking is why this base and why now? Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase sits in a uniquely strategic position within the Middle East security architecture. From this location, aircraft can reach key areas of Syria, Iraq, and even parts of the Eastern Mediterranean within a relatively short flight time. That makes it an ideal platform for intelligence gathering, reconnaissance missions, and rapid response operations. Over the years, the base has hosted advanced fighter aircraft, surveillance platforms, and drone operations that monitor developments across a vast portion of the region. And that is where the broader geopolitical picture starts to emerge. By targeting a facility that plays a central role in reconnaissance and operational planning, the strike could be intended to challenge the very network of surveillance that supports U.S. military strategy in the Middle East. But the ripple effects of such an event rarely remain confined to a single country. Across the region, governments are now closely watching developments as the situation continues to unfold. Military installations in neighboring countries have reportedly increased security measures, while naval patrols in nearby waters are being monitored more carefully than usual. Diplomatic channels are also becoming increasingly active as officials attempt to assess the scale of the incident. And that brings us to another critical layer of this unfolding situation. Whenever major military infrastructure becomes the target of missile or drone attacks, the implications extend far beyond the immediate damage. Strategic facilities like radar systems, aircraft shelters, and fuel depots form the backbone of military operations. If even a portion of those systems is disrupted, it can temporarily affect surveillance coverage, mission planning, and logistical coordination. That is why analysts are now focusing on what specific parts of the base may have been affected. Some early reports suggest that areas near aircraft support facilities and operational logistics zones may have been among the locations impacted by the explosions. But confirming such claims requires time. Satellite imagery, intelligence analysis, and official military statements will likely be needed before a clearer picture emerges. And until that happens, uncertainty continues to dominate the situation. Meanwhile, the strategic message behind the attack is becoming increasingly clear to observers studying the event. Striking a facility used by the United States and its allies sends a signal about reach and capability. It demonstrates that military installations far from the front lines can still fall within the range of missile and drone systems. Modern warfare has increasingly moved in this direction. Long-range missiles and unmanned aerial systems now allow countries and armed groups to project force across hundreds, sometimes even thousands of kilometers. When those systems are used in coordinated operations, they can challenge even the most advanced defensive networks. And that is exactly why military analysts say the situation carries significant risk. If retaliatory actions follow, or if additional strikes occur, the confrontation could expand beyond isolated incidents into a broader regional escalation. For now, defense officials, governments, and intelligence agencies are racing to piece together exactly what happened in those crucial minutes when the missiles approached Muwaffaq al-Salti Airbase. The world is watching closely, because events like this can quickly reshape the strategic landscape of an entire region. And as more information continues to emerge, one question still hangs in the air. Was this strike meant as a warning, or could it be the beginning of something much larger?